morning and welcome to A&E TV. Today we're joined for morning coffee by Blake Sargent, performance coach and founder of The Faculty. Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us. And to kick things off, talk us through your morning routine.
My morning routine. So I guess my morning routine sort of starts the night before. I'm religious about 7 hours sleep. So I'm more religious about that than I am exactly what time I wake up in the morning. So I normally wake up between 6 and 6:30. Sometimes if I've got like an early cycle, I'll go earlier. But again, I've got to have 7 hours sleep. And then I'll meditate for 20 minutes. And then I visualize for 5 minutes. I do all of this in bed. So it's like I wake up and then prop the pillows up, meditate, 5-minute visualization. And then it's black coffee and I read something called a vision statement. So I get clear on how I want my year to end and who I want to show up as on a daily basis. And I have that written out in what's called a vision statement, which only takes a few minutes to read, but that gets me set and reconnects me with my bigger purpose every morning. Okay. So that's how I start.
And can you talk us through what your role as a performance coach actually entails?
I guess in its simplest form, performance coaching is to help people live their potential, which sounds quite big picture, and it depends on the person who I'm working with. So sometimes I'll work with someone who really has no clue about their purpose yet, and they're sort of early phase, so they're trying to find purpose, and they need help creating a vision for that, how the next 12 months of their life is gonna turn out. But then I work with some CEOs of businesses where I help them create a business vision, and they're much clearer. So we work out what do they need to do consistently to show up as the best version of themselves. What part of their psychology do we need to work on with them? What are the limiting beliefs or fears that are holding them back? And again, sometimes I work with Olympic athletes who have a pretty clear picture of what they want, but we've got to help them to operate at the highest possible level. Okay,
and tell us a little bit about your philosophy.
My philosophy, I have a definition of success, which for me, when growing up, I guess success was thought of as wealth or money, and that just never quite sat with me. There's nothing wrong with having money, but it's also not the be all and end all. There are people who have a lot of money who are completely miserable. And so for me, my definition of success is to be a fulfillionaire. A fulfillionaire is somebody who's rich in every area of their life. And that's ultimately what I help people to achieve for themselves.
Okay, and how is it different from life coaching?
How's it different from life coaching? I guess life coaching is a very big term. You could be 18 years old, do a 2-day course and call yourself a life coach. So that's one end of the spectrum, all the way up to the guy Tony Robbins, who arguably created the coaching industry, and he in a way is life coach as well. So life coach is very much just a massive umbrella term of anything that helps you perform better at life. But all I'd say is just because somebody calls themselves a coach doesn't necessarily mean they necessarily know what they're doing. So if you're ever going to look at getting a coach, the most important to look at is results and testimonials of people they've worked with before. Go and find people who've had results. And now there are so many more coaches out there, and with the ability to be able to work with people from different parts of the world, probably whatever you're looking at needing help with, there's probably a niched coach who's specifically great at doing that. So go and find the coach who is the best in the world at what they do. Okay,
and what tips can you give us for being happier at the workplace?
Being happy at work. First tip, to be happier at work, make sure you're happy out of work. We put so much focus nowadays on our career and our business, and we think that our career or our business defines us. And we forget that actually, although it may feel like we spend all our time at work, we actually don't. We have weekends, we have evenings, and so if we look at the wheel of life and we look at career and business being one part of that, there's also social, family, relationships, personal growth, health. There are so many other areas of life. So first, look after all that so the focus doesn't go so much on work. And then I guess a bit more of a hard-nosed performance coach in me, I'd say that regardless of who pays your salary, you've got to be the CEO of your own life. There's just no point sitting at work complaining, because at some stage you applied for that job, you begged them for that job, you chose, you wanted to go there, and they went, yes, okay, we'll have you, and you went, oh great, I finally got the job. So don't complain sitting in the seat that you're in. You know, you may find that the environment isn't perfect for you, but wherever you are, you know, if you move, you've got to take yourself with you. So make sure that you've done everything you possibly can. Like, we've all, you know, at times have bad bosses or not perfect colleagues. I mean, so what? You know, focus on the things that you can focus on, and understand that this chapter of your life is shared with the company that you're working with at the time, but it doesn't always have to be like that. So if you want to be happy at work, get clear on what you want as a person, be the CEO of your own life, squeeze as much as you can from that opportunity, even if it's imperfect, and don't be afraid to move. You know, if you outgrow your position or you outgrow the company you're working with, be happy to move, rather than get caught in this comfort zone where we then get negative, going, I don't like it. You know, you're not a tree, you can move. So those would be my tips.
Cool. What's the motto that you live by?
I guess for me, I think of it more as a mission, if you will. So I've got like a 3-part mission, which I didn't always have. In fact, they never taught me at school how to find purpose in life, which, you know, you want fulfillment, you want meaning, you want to be happy, ultimately comes from contributing and growing. And so being part of something that's bigger than yourself, being part of a mission, is where I find my happiness. And so my 3-part mission is to live my potential by helping others to live theirs. Second part is to help bring personal development to the masses. Because when I uncovered the industry, I had like the knowledge in there. I was like, what? Why wasn't this taught at school? And it was incredible. But it's not really out there, and it's getting better. So I want to help bring personal development to the masses. And the third part is to help change the education curriculum. I think a lot of what I do as a performance coach is often fixing bits that could have been avoided, where people picked up limiting beliefs, or they picked up fears or unempowering beliefs. And so I then have to work with their psychology to get rid of that stuff, which actually, if they got it right in the first place within the curriculum, and they got people's mindset right and actually showed them how to become successful and fulfilled, then I might be out of the job, but that would be okay.
And what's been your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge was when my bulletproof plan for success, which was school to uni to millionaire by 30, fell hard at the first hurdle. You know, that's what I was sort of led to believe. You know, go to school, get good grades. I didn't really get good grades, but, you know, and then go to uni and then millionaire by 30. But I found myself at uni realizing that this is not, I'm never going to use any of this stuff, and this is a waste of time. So I dropped out of uni, and at that point, that's when it all came crashing down, and I've hit ground zero, had a meltdown, and had to, obviously, felt sorry for myself for about 2 years, but then started reading the books and started looking for success, and that's what's put me on the journey that I am today. And that's what I uncovered over the course of that decade, really, is now what I share back with people.
Okay. And what do you still want to achieve?
What do I still want to achieve? I still want to bring personal development to the masses, still want to help change the education system. I'd like to work with, I work with some pro athletes, but I'd like to work with an international team. That's on my list still.
Okay. So. And who's been your professional mentor or your inspiration?
It's a tough one, because there have been so many. So I wouldn't want to like pick one out. Although I would say that the most important person at the most important time was when I wanted to go full-time in coaching. And I'd read hundreds of books and autobiographies and books on psychology and success. but I wanted to go and work with somebody who was doing it at the highest level. So Australia's top business coach is a guy called Andrew Roberts, or Robbo, as I know him. And I pestered him for about 3 months until he finally said, okay, come out and come and work with me. And I went and worked with him for 18 months. And for 18 months, I shadowed him and I helped him, and we created a coaching program together, and I learned a huge amount there. So he would probably be my most important mentor. Mm-hmm. But then I've found mentors to help me with other different bits along the way as well. So.
Okay. And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Be patient. Success takes time, and you don't have to defer the happiness. You can be happy along the journey, not I'll be happy when I've got this, or I'll be happy when I've got that. Okay,
and if you could tell yourself something 10 years from now, what would that be?
Keep doing the basics. Success is a daily habit. Stay committed to your mission and pay attention to detail.
Complete this sentence for me. I'm happy when?
I'm happy when I'm with others. I'm very happy by myself as well, but happiest when I'm playing sport with people, when I'm active, when I'm working with clients, especially like a group of clients, or I'm running an event, or doing some sort of change work with people. Really happy around friends and family. The simple things really, which, yeah, I don't have a sports car. So.
And when do you think it's necessary to compromise?
Compromise on the way you achieve your goals, but never on your mission. You know, so if you're committed to achieving an outcome, that's amazing. You know, if there's something that's truly important to you, that it's part of your mission, something you really, really want, that isn't linked to ego, right?
Yeah.
Ego should always be left at the door when creating goals. But if you've got something really important, you've got a mission, don't compromise on that, but be really flexible and compromise, if you will, on how you get there. It's a little bit like an ant, right? When it goes somewhere and it comes across an obstacle, it finds a way around it, and it compromises on the route, but ultimately it gets to where it wants to go. Okay.
And what book are you reading at the moment?
I'm reading a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. We're quite heavy going, but it was The New Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And he originally wrote it in 1960, and he was a plastic surgeon. And he's basically, you know, all of us in the coaching industry owe him a debt of gratitude in some way, shape or form. It's just most people don't know that some of the knowledge we have now came from all the way back then. And he was a plastic surgeon, so people would come to him and they'd say to him, well, look, you know, I feel underconfident, I've got this scar on my face, or I've got this hook nose, or my ears stick out, look, can you do something? Because if you were to fix this, then I'd be more confident, then I'd be more successful in life. And so he'd fix people, and what he'd find is that some people, you'd fix their nose and they'd be like, oh my God, they'd be a new person. You know, they're like, oh my God, I look amazing, their confidence would go back up, and they're like, I'm fixed. But like half of the people he'd operate on, there would be no change. And even though everybody else said, yeah, you look incredible, they would say, no, still, I don't feel any different. So basically what he discovered was the absolute core of anyone's success is their self-image, is their identity. And basically, that's a lot of work that I do with people is, you know, you can give people strategy all day long, but if they don't have the self-image, the self-belief, the beliefs about themselves, or identity as it's called, then they'll never be able to get those goals, because their unconscious brain will not allow them to act out of congruence with the way they see themselves.
Okay.
Which is why a lot of people, you know, they can't lose weight, they can't get the promotion, because until their unconscious brain believes it, their conscious brain can't deliver it. Okay. And he worked this out in 1960, and we're still not teaching it in schools, so.
Okay, and for our final question, how would you like the world to remember you?
As someone who helped bring personal development to the masses and change the education curriculum.
Okay, thank you so much. It's been our pleasure.
Thank you.